Hello and welcome to TTV News on TayNin newspaper and radio television with some latest event in the province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, on August 20, member of the Provincial Party Standing Committee and Vice Chairman of TayNin Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Hồng Thanh chairs a meeting with leaders of department and agency regarding preparations for the 2025 conference on connecting import-export supply chains and e-commerce of TayNin province.
At the meeting, the Vice Chairman Nguyễn Hồng Thanh requested the Department of Industry and Trade to supplement the detailed plan and report the estimated budgets and obtain information on the telecom service providers to ensure online connectivity. He also directed the coordination with the Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism to review and revise the branding materials and promotional trailer to align with the province entity and to proactively provide information to the media to boost the communication efforts before, during and after the conference. The conference is expected to be co-organized by the Ministry of Industry and Trade and TayNin Provincial People's Committee at the Thống Nhất Hall on September 6 of 2025.
On August 20th, former state resident Trương Tấn Sang, along with Deputy Secretary of TayNin Provincial Party Committee and head of the Provincial National Assembly delegation Phạm Hồng Thái and former provincial leaders, attended the closing session of An Ninh Camille Party Congress. In his remarks, Mr. Phạm Hồng Thái emphasized the importance of innovation and self-reliance to help An Ninh become a comprehensively developed Camille. During the past term, An Ninh achieved on proposed targets and breakthroughs. Over 30 transportation infrastructure projects were implemented with over 60 billion Vietnam dong in investment, significantly improving the rural landscape. Contributions to the draft documents for the 14th National Party Congress included proposals to focus on economic development along the Vam Codong River, including river and road planning, embankment construction, and investment attraction. The Congress also announced the provincial leadership's appointments for the new term. Mr. Lê Trường Chinh was appointed as Secretary of An Ninh Camille Party Committee for 2025-2030. The Congress sets 14 key targets for breakthroughs and 3 major projects under the slogan Solidarity, Discipline, Dynamism, Development.
With the slogan Solidarity, Discipline, Innovation, Development, the first party conference of Hưng Điền Commune for the 2025-2030 term was successfully held on August 19 and 20th. Attending the event, there were Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Vĩnh, member of Provincial Party Standing Committee and head of Provincial Party Inspection Committee, along with the former provincial leaders. Over the 2020-2025 term, Hưng Điền Party Committee fulfilled on the 19 key targets set in ASAT by the conference resolution. And for the new term, the conference approved for 15 targets and 2 major projects, 2 breakthrough programs, and 4 core tasks. In his remarks, Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Vĩnh urged the new party executive committee to build on the past achievements, address shortcomings, promote the digital transformation, and prioritize investment in education and infrastructure. The committee was also tasked with promptly finalizing an action plan to implement the conference resolution. The conference announced the Provincial Party Standing Committee's appointment for the new term and naming Mr. Nguyễn Quốc Khánh as the Secretary of Hưng Điền Commune Party Committee for the term of 2025 to 2030.
Ladies and gentlemen, the August Revolution of 1945 in TayNin was a glorious victory, marking the indomitable and resilient spirits of the party, the army forces, and the people. Over the past 80 years, rest Israels associated with this historic event have been reserved and restored, becoming important sites for educating today's youth in revolutionary tradition.
The Tổng Thần House is a prominent historical site bearing rich architectural design from the late 19th century. It was formerly the private residence of Sub-District Chief Trần Khắc Thận. After August 22, 1945, when the revolutionary forces seized power in Tân An, the site was chosen as the public headquarters of Tân An Provincial Party Committee. Here, the Provincial Committee held 3 key meetings that laid the foundation for establishing the young revolutionary government in Tân An. I have visited the Tongthern House historical site for several times, and what impressed me most is the architecture of the house, built during the French colonial era, and the fact that it was taken over by the Provincial Party Committee after the August Revolution. What struck me deeply was learning the historical stories about Tongthern House, the activities of the Party Committee, and the paintings that reenact the People's Revolution. Today, it has been restored and preserved, welcoming tens of thousands of students, youth union members, and young people as part of returning to the roots journeys and patriotic education programs. Every year, Tongthern House receives visits from youth union members. Various Red Oak journey activities are also held in connection with this site. On average, around 50,000 to 100,000 students and youth union members visit annually. The historical Tongthern House is closely linked to the success of the August Revolution, as it was the first location where Tân An Provincial Party Committee operated openly after renovation on August 22, 1945. Notably, after the August Revolution, the people here seized power when before Saigon. Currently, the Party Committee and People's Committee of the World are restoring and preserving the site. In addition to the Tongthern House, Long An World also has another Red Oak Rest tied to the August Revolution, Minh Xuân Đường Pharmacy. These are two Red Oak Rests directly linked to the revolution. Minh Xuân Đường Pharmacy, number 17 Nguyễn Duy Street, Long An World, was a serious operation site of Tân An Party Committee for nearly 10 years. After the successful uprising, the Provincial Party Committee moved its operations to Tongthern House. Alongside Tongthern House, this site also played a significant role in the success of the August Revolution in Tân An. Both number 17 and the Tongthern House still retain their original architecture and have been officially recognized as provincial-level historical relics. These well-reserved and restored Red Oak rests serve as reminders of the heroic past, of unforgettable sacrifice and resilience. Inheriting the revolutionary spirit of the August Revolution, the party, government, and people of Tân An continue to unite and build a fast-developing, sustainable homeland. At the first party congress of Mỹ Lệ Camille for the 2025-2030 term, standing member of the Provincial Party Committee and Vice Chairman of the Provincial Peace Committee Đoàn Trung Kiên emphasized the need for a clean and strong political system. He urged the Camille to mobilize resources for economic development, accelerate site clearance, attract investment, improve rural transport infrastructure, and use science, technology, and innovation as the foundation for sustainable growth. Earlier, the Congress announced the Provincial Party Standing Committee's decision appointing the Party Executive Committee 27 members, Standing Committee 10 members, and other key leadership roles. Mr. Đào Hữu Tấn was appointed as Secretary of Mỹ Lệ Camille Party Committee for 2025-2030 term. The Congress also approved 12 key targets to major projects and outline key development solutions.
And after 2 days of urgent and serious working, the first party conference of Nhiệt Tảo Commune for the 2025 to 2030 term concluded successfully. At the event, Major General Vũ Nhị Hà, member of Provincial Party Standing Committee and Director of Provincial Police, praised the comprehensive achievements of the party committee, the authorities, and the peoples of Nhiệt Tảo in the past term. He emphasized the need to uphold unity, seize opportunities, overcome the challenges, and work together to successfully implement the conference resolution, aiming for the fast and sustainable development. The conference announced the Provincial Party Standing Committee's decision appointing the key leadership positions, and Mr. Phạm Thanh Bình was also assigned as the Secretary of Nhiệt Tảo Commune Party Committee for the term of 2025 to 2030. Under the slogan Solidarity, Discipline, Breakthrough, Development, the party committee outlined for 14 key socio-economic targets and 2 breakthrough areas to major projects and stakeholders and solutions, aiming to transform Nhiệt Tảo into a comprehensively modern commune by 2030.
On August 20, the Departments of Science and Technologies of Tây Ninh Province, in collaboration with the Ho Chi Minh City branch of the Vietnam Internet Center, have a signing ceremony for the cooperation agreement titled Coordination to Enhance the Management and Development of Internet Resources in the province. The events were attended by Mr. Đỗ Quang Trung, head of the Vietnam Internet Center's Ho Chi Minh City branch, and Ms. Huỳnh Thị Hồng Nhung, Director of TayNinhTV Department of Science and Technologies.
In his opening speech, Mr. Đỗ Quang Trung emphasized that this cooperation will contribute to improving the efficiency of Internet resource management and provide a foundation for accelerating local digital transformation. The leadership of the Department of Science and Technology committed to serving as the focal point to connect and collaborate with the Vietnam Internet Center's branch in Ho Chi Minh City and relevant units. Their goal is to effectively implement the agreed activities and extend the impact to the local community, including individuals, businesses, business households, and governmental organizations in the province. On this occasion, the parties presented the cooperation agreement and the 2025 Joint Action Program, focusing on the dissemination of legal documents related to Internet resource management, reviewing and reserving domain names, managing domain name data registered and used by local entities in TayNinh, and implementing the high-speed Internet speed measurement initiative. These efforts aim to develop digital infrastructure and telecommunications network, contributing to the province's digital economy and digital society development.
Ladies and gentlemen, recently, thanks to policy credit capital from the Bank for Social Policies, many households in TayNinh province have had the opportunity to expand production, develop businesses, improve incomes, and stabilize their life, contributing to poverty reduction and local socio-economic development.
This is the event service business of Mr. Nguyễn Văn Cổ family in TayNinhTV commune of TayNinh province. Starting as a small operation, his family only borrowed for 100 million Vietnam dong from Kiến Tường Transactional Affairs of the Bank for Social Policies, and thanks to this capital, he was able to upgrade the equipment and invest in expansion, making operations run more smoothly. Our family received the wholehearted support from the Bank for Social Policies, helping us raise jobs and asset capital for development. Previously, our facility was small, but thanks to the bank, we had more funds to invest in it. Not only Mr. Cổ family, but many other households in TayNinhTV commune have also accessed fair financial loan sources to develop the economy and create jobs and support its advanced students in continuing their education also. Overall, it helps households with the job creation quite well. It also supports the students so we can ease part of the educational cost for our children. As of now, the Kiến Tường Transactional Affairs of the Bank for Social Policy has a total outstanding loan balance of over 470 billion Vietnam dong, an increase of 94 billion Vietnam dong compared to the beginning of the year. The capital mobilized through savings and loan groups has reached for 32 billion Vietnam dong, and currently the office is reviewing and developing credit plans for 2026 and the 2026-2030 period, with many lending programs continuing to prioritize the poor households, the poor household policy beneficiaries and students. The transaction affairs is managing areas where the flow of capital has not been interrupted, and we manage 9 transaction points to make it convenient for the people to access services. After the recent administrative merger, there have been staffing changes among the entrusted personnel, so we are improving the professional capacity to manage capital more efficiently and tightly. The effective implementation of the policy credit programs not only create opportunities for the people to improve their economic situation, but also contributes to sustainable poverty reduction, ensuring the social security and promoting the local economic development also. The policy credit capital is truly becoming a driving force for the rural resident to overcome hardship, stabilize household finances, and gradually improve their quality of life. Amid increasingly complex weather patterns, the Provincial Department of Agriculture and Environment has proactively implemented the disaster response measures to protect the residents and local production also. Following directive from Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, the department issued an urgent notice to relevant agencies urging preparedness for the various natural disasters such as heavy rain, storm, flash floods, inundation, tidal surges and landslides, especially in the vulnerable areas. Localities are instructed to maintain emergency duty teams and promptly report and damage to the Provincial Irrigation Sub-Department. In particular, the communes who work within the Nam Thap Mui region must urgently prepare for the August flood and peak flood season for the 2025 to minimize the damage and ensure public safety.
Turn to domestic news. The Immigration Department under the Ministry of Public Security has just issued a decision to implement Level 1 Enhanced Aviation Security Control Measure during the National Day holiday, September 2nd, at airports, airfield, and air traffic service facilities nationwide. The measure will be in effect from August 20 to the end of September 4, 2025.
In addition, from September 5th to the end of September 7, several continued enhanced aviation security measures will be applied, including increased frequency of patrols and surveillance in public and restricted access areas, strengthened screening procedures for passengers and luggage. At the same time, inspection and monitoring activities by command and management system at town levels will also be intensified in both time and frequency. The Vietnam Air Traffic Management Corporation has also issued a directive requiring the Thai system to enhance air traffic control, technical operations and security during the peak period around September 2nd. The directive emphasizes flexible management to minimize impacts on passengers, close coordination to ensure the safety of H-80 flight missions, and increasing management capacity at key points such as Nội Bài and Tân Sơn Nhất airports.
The audience, after more than a month of operating the two-level local government system, the rate of applications received as public administrative service point for notarized copies and signature certification as commute across the capital has remained high.
According to records, the Public Administrative Service Point at Dung Hoa Commune, Hanoi City received 1,644 applications from July 1st to August 4, of which 76% were for notarization. Officials have proposed a review and simplification of procedures to reduce costs for citizens. Usually, the children's birth certificates already have originals, and many copies have already been made. People just submit them, yet they are still required to photocopy the original for notarization. I think that's unnecessary. In my opinion, if we can cut it, I propose removing some simple procedural documents to ease the burden on citizens and reduce their expenses. From July 1st to August 13, Trung Gia Commune Hanoi received 4,190 applications, including over 1,800 online and over 2,300 in person, averaging more than 100 applications per day. The on-time resolution rate was 98.6%. Notarization applications accounted for over 60%, increasing workload and making citizens wait longer. For notarization procedures, we suggest that currently the authority has not been delegated to judicial officers. Until it was done before, we recommend that local judicial officers be authorized soon to directly handle procedures at administrative service points to return resources to citizens as quickly as possible. That is an immediate recommendation. In the long term, I propose that since personal data is already available on VNeID, notarization should no longer be required. Faced with the fact that notarized copy and signature certification applications account for a large portion at public administrative service points, localities have recommended a review of necessary notarization procedures so that officials can prioritize urgent matters and serve the people more effectively. We propose that the central government and the city consider the notarization of certain documents such as ID cards, birth certificates, and other certificates that are already integrated on VNeID and recommend a city-wide or nationwide policy to no longer require mandatory notarization for this. This will significantly reduce the number of citizens needing notarization, thereby easing the load on reception departments. Localities have proposed reviewing notarization procedures and suggest that the city public service center should provide guidance for monitoring and standardizing administrative procedures under the authority of both the city and communes, strengthening support for digital signatures for citizens to carry out end-to-end procedures. Notably, they recommend expedited training for civil servants on authorization procedures. These proposals have been acknowledged by the Hanoi City Vietnam Fatherland Committee as for communes including Mỹ Đức, Dân Hòa, Trung Giả, and Tam Hưng in August 2025.
And today, TTV News wraps up now. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next program.